Okay, welcome everybody to the Ortelius outreach meeting. Um, the meeting link, let me just paste it again. If you could sign in real quick onto that, that'd be great. I kind of put a placeholder in there for today. Um, Trying to think what we have on the list. One of the things that we are going to need to start working on is going to be um, updating the uh, website for the new UI and stuff. Let me go ahead and share screen. And if I can get Zoom out of the way, there we go. So one of the things I did with the new UI to make it easy to do screen captures, I actually added a button here that will save the piece as an SVG. So you can go over and float over which parts you want to screen capture, for example. So if I go into actual organization, so if I want this table, I can just click and it will automatically screen capture it as an SVG. So very nice to be able to scale um, to do the resolution sizing. And the other one of the weird byproducts is if I do like the wider page, um, because of the way the SVG is generated, it actually has a scroll bar. It's a weird byproduct of it. So you could actually be able to shrink this and then still have a scroll bar inside the SVG. What ends up happening is it's actually HTML embedded and CSS embedded into the SVG. So, but one of the things that we'll need to start working on is the documentation. Um, have a new version I have to push this morning that has more stuff as part of the sign up process. Um, but we could probably start breaking out some of the high-leveled topics into a markdown. One of the other things you can do is if we take that SVG and if we go over to Claude and let's just upload that one. Uh, you could do a lot of this documentation through one of the chat bots. Uh, Give me a markdown describing this screenshot. So I think our documentation will come along a lot quicker because we have the ability to use the chat bots. Um, One like ChatGPT will seems to be a little bit better in its grammar and making the markdowns and stuff like that. But you know, pick which ones you're used to on that front. Um, so that's going to be one of the things. So not only are we going to have to do the documentation, but the Ortelius IO website. Like this will need a new screenshot for here. We'll probably need to clean up some of the wording here. Um, and one of the nice things is because this page is a Hugo server and all in Markdown, you can point your cloud to the repo and have it update directly that way. So let's see if oh, it can't deal with the SVG. So we'll do it this way. I'm going to change over to cloud. And let me just do another quick screen capture.
Just wondering what's you guys' experience with cloud data? I found I still have to wait 3 or 4 times unless they push you to the more expensive level.
Yeah, I pay the $20 a month for Claude. If you're trying to use the free version with Claude, it doesn't get you anywhere. You could do like two little things and then it runs out of tokens.
Yeah, but I was paying the $20 as well. I think I need to wait. Yeah, reset 3 times a day. So yeah,
Oh, yeah. So there are some tricks. I'll show you that in a second on how to do that. Give me a markdown.
yeah. I think they'll push you pay for per message, or they said you can pay for higher usage as well. I can see every time when I run out of the buffer, they actually give me two options.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'll show you with Claude here in a second. Let me just go ahead and get this. So this is generating the markdown for us. So with the tables and things like that, breaks down what we're doing just based on the screenshot. So we should be able to use a chat bot to update the website, point to the repo. It is, I believe, Ortelius.io is here's the repo, the Ortelius.io repo. So you can, depending on which one you're using, like Claude will let you point directly to the GitHub repo. When I use Gemini, I have to upload the particular folders from my local clone of the repo. It ends up working out the same way. Just with Gemini, you have to have a couple extra steps. Now I use because um, at Deploy Hub, we use Google Workspaces for all of our email and stuff. We get Gemini included in that as part of our process. So I never run out of Gemini tokens. So if depending on which Google plan you have, you may be able to leverage that. So we got our markdown, all that stuff. So that will be one of the things that we can leverage. So let me start a new chat here. So I've done this before to get around the issue that you were talking about, Ching. Um, so one of the annoying things when it's you're talking about like code, uh,
Yeah,
it will. So yeah, just say, um, how do I have you make changes to my is it code or documents that you usually work?
it's a code. Normally,
Yep.
it's the code. They tend to make give you the complete file. Of course, it's easy, just copy paste, but
Yep.
that's gonna be used a lot.
Yep. So how do I have you make changes to my code base in the background? Minimizing token usage without any progress bar or progress messages and um, extra documentation like implementation or summary docs. So and you have to do this for each one of the chat bots because it'll actually tell you how to use itself pretty efficiently.
Oh, okay.
So um, so here's let me make my screen a little bit bigger so you can read it.
Yeah.
Um, so if you know exactly where it is,
Mm-hmm.
focus on that. Uh, do the no explanations. I use just make the changes a lot.
Mm.
Um, and then use str replace, which is how it does things in the background. So here's some of the prompts. fixed authentication bug, no explanation. Let me go to one of my past chats and I do one of my past chats because I use this to do pretty much all the coding now. Let me go up to the top. So, like in this case, I was just doing some investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted it to break out some of the architecture, and one of the things I made sure was to tell it just give me recommendations or options and don't make any coding changes because that will be one of the things that it'll go off and do
Yeah.
is it'll start going down these paths and start giving you all these updates and stuff. So like Sasha has said in the past, you have to be very strict with your children to keep them in line.
Yeah.
So here I told it not to do any coding changes. It gave me my options and it ended up like this use case was like five different options or
Yeah.
six.
But I still found that compared to ChatGPT, Gemini, and this one still is the one keep running out of usage for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Claude is. I'm sorry. I try them all. And I try them all regularly. Claude is still superior. I'd say, yeah.
let me go to a different chat that's better. Here's one.
I guess coding is the best, but I think it have tendencies trying to always trying to generate loads of stuff for you though.
Yeah.
Even you tell them not to, but you still, I don't know. I tell them not to, but still sometimes, give you loads of stuff. You
Yeah,
have
I'll
to be
give.
so
very specific.
Sorry.
yeah, so one of the things you have to do is remind it down the road. So in this case, I Tracy, can you go to mute? I got a weird echo. Thank you. So in this case, I linked in my repo. So I linked in the front end repo. So that's the context for all the files. And then I said add filters to the sidebar page. This is one of the things with Claude. Do quick edits in the background, and
Hmm.
that will cause it to use that str replace in the background. And then the other part is just return results with download links, no implementation guide. So let me put this in the chat for you guys to steal.
Just one question though, when you actually let them connect it to your repo directly, does it actually add itself as one of your contributor on your GitHub?
No, what it does is it goes out through the public URL and copies the files into its context.
Okay, because I'm not quite sure. One of my son's projects and showing up Claude as the contributor, so that's
That
why I'm
that
not
may
sure
be
how
the
to go
case
to.
if you use Claude Code.
Yeah, could be.
So if you use Claude Code, then it will want to add itself as a contributor. But I don't use Claude Code because it goes crazy on consuming co tokens.
Yeah.
You'll be there. You'll ask it one question, you'll be out of tokens. So in this case, the result was it did the work in the background, and then it just presented the two files as download links. So if you click on the file, you can actually do the cut and paste this way or the download. Um, and then one of the things is because I have a lot of files that have the same file name, I
Mm.
needed to tell it where am I going with these files. So that was one of the extra prompts I had to do to understand where things were going in my Visual Studio. Um, and then it came close on what I wanted to do, um, but it had some things that were messed up, so I came back. And this time I didn't need to do the quick edit or anything like that because it remembered it because it was just the previous prompt. But you'll see down the road. Oh, this one's not a very long conversation. Um, but sometimes I have to remind it to go ahead and do that type of thing. So like I said, you can bring in the Ortelius.io repo. You can also it'll understand if you're using Gemini, you'd probably want to just load in the content repo, 'cause not the whole not all the folders. So on the Gemini side, just upload the content repo, and then pick a page that you want to go ahead and update. If we go back to your Ortelius.io, uh, let's say you want to do like the events and resources. So tell it that I want to update the events and resources to remove the Ortelius party. So with that, it'll give you that new updated, ready to go page that you can actually work on. So let me do this real quick.
So you just share the link. It will able to go access it itself.
Yep. So let me get into my where is that? I think it's a website. I just got to make sure I have it local.
Did you guys feel is Gemini so much better now or the latest version?
Um, I have Gemini up and running. Like I just told Gemini to go fix a bunch of lint warnings. The only thing with Gemini is it doesn't have the download link, so it'll put everything into the window, and
Okay,
then you have to be careful because if it's still generating the result and you hit the copy button, you'll get half of a file.
uh,
So you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to make sure that your file
complete.
is complete,
Mm.
and then hit the copy and paste. So let's go ahead and do a new conversation here, just so you can see how I'm gonna add from GitHub.
Oh, okay.
Let me go.
But when you add it, does those code added in consider as your quota?
Uh, it will um, it will bring it in as part of your context window. So if you have a lot of files, it'll use a little bit of its resources to figure out which file that you're working with.
Hmm.
I have to
And for
I have to do the cut and paste of the link because I'm part of the Jenkins. You can see I'm a Jenkins contributor, so I have all these Jenkins repos that get in the way.
is this project have to be a public project? So,
I believe so. So here it brought me up to the Ortelius IO repo.
hmm.
Now, like the archetypes, asset layouts, and stuff like that, I don't need those files to be into my context window. All I want is the actual web page. So what I'll do is I'm just going to have it load in. Um, see, it's too big now. So we'll
Yeah.
go down into events. That's weird. Why are you giving me? Oh, because it has the MP4s in there.
Mm.
So now I can tell it to update the events to remove the holiday party and replace with the upcoming CD con in 2026. Uh, Go find the CD con event dates and links. So this is where it comes into play. Do quick edits, just return the results. So the nice thing with Claude is, and when you're in the ChatGPT more pro version, it'll go out and search for things for you
Mm.
as part of that. So right now it's actually doing the work in the background. So you don't see that scrolling that you normally see, Jing. It's
Yeah.
actually doing all that in the background, and it's saving your tokens because it's using that str replace instead of basically an AI replace.
I see.
And this is where it's copying the files from. So it went from GitHub to the context, from the context to a file system, and now going from the file system where it got updated to a place where I can actually download it. And this is the annoying part that they haven't fixed yet, that it'll still present this to you.
So then it will be considered as the daily buffer for the user then.
Yeah. And some of the things you could do is just to make it go a little bit faster, I just collapse it. And while that's so there it try and get
That's handy though. So that's going to definitely speed up our documentation process.
yeah. And one of the things it did is, and you could tell it to exclude this summary
Mm-hmm.
of what it did. You could say skip giving me any updates about what
Yeah.
happened. So now I actually have that file. Let me go ahead and copy that. And let me go to my Visual Studio website, open. See if, and I'm going to ask it, which file did you update? Visual Studio is acting up. I think I have a Visual Studio update pending. Yeah. Open folder, website, open. There we go. So content, events, index, Control A, paste it in, and save that. Now, if I go over there, and now I just go to the local, and we go over to events. It it kind of did what we did, what we
Mm-hmm.
wanted, and it added in the CDCon stuff, but it didn't take out the
The icon.
image. Yep.
Mm.
So now I just have to say remove the alien and fix the page formatting. Uh, Tracy, you're on mute.
Oh, okay. We have 30 minutes left. We probably should do some outreach stuff.
Oh, this is where we're talking about updating the website for the new UI
Yeah.
and how to do it using AI. So, but if you have other things, go ahead, take it over.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff that we should to cover. So this is our first outreach call for the year, and we oftentimes ask what we want to do for outreach in 20. But we did 2025. We did an awesome job seekers series, which I love. Tony, thank you for that suggestion and encouraging us to do it, because it ended up we had two. We didn't have three. We had two, but they were really, really good, and I think it's helped all of us. Uh, over the course of the holiday break, I was doing a campaign to get more GitHub stars. We are just under 400 GitHub stars. We should try to get up to 500 GitHub stars over the course of the next 6 months. So I would ask all of you to reach out to your networks and say, hey, this is an open source project I'm working on. It won't take us that much to get up to 400. We only need about 10 if we can break 400 in the next month or so. But if all of us got 10 people to do it, we would be at 500 in no time.
So sorry, Tracy, I was foreign to this. What does this GitHub stars mean?
So Steve, you were sharing your screen. Can you show where the GitHub stars are?
Yep. Let me reshare.
So you can vote once, is that the idea?
Yes, you can vote once.
So if you go to the main repo, the Ortelius repo,
Yeah.
um, up here at the top, it has starred,
Ah, okay.
and I just unstarred it and I starred it.
So we're at 371. We need to break 500. And I'll tell you why in a minute, but this is something that we just need to work on to get to do some outreach to get those stars up. So it would be great to break 400 early in the year and try to get to 500 by the end of this year. GitHub stars used to be used as a determination on what projects people should be looking at. 250 used to be enough, but over the last couple of years, there's been so many open source projects out there that projects that have closer to 500 are ones that are searched and considered more than the ones that have lower numbers. The other reason why I bring this up as a concern is that we don't know where the CD Foundation is going to be in a year. They're not growing. Their primes, their gold members have stayed for the next year. Apple is still in it. CloudBeast is still in it, but that doesn't mean that 2027 that they'll invest money in the CD Foundation. If we would like to be able to move to the OpenSSF or the CNCF, we would need to have more. Need to be closer towards the 500 stars than we are towards the 400. So it just should be a goal for us to continue working on that as a kind of a KPI to see what kind of outreach that we're doing. And some of you are getting some pretty good followers, so I think that if you say, hey, I'm working on this open source project, consider giving it a star. I think we'll get there pretty quick. I think we can move that, we can move that pretty fast.
Can you put a post up or repost I'm asking for stars, and that way it'll be easy to broadcast it to networks?
Sure. I will put a new one up so it doesn't have Santa Claus giving an alien a star.
I thought the Santa Claus was good.
Yeah, but I will do it again. I'll post it on the Ortelius site and say, hey, I'm still looking for stars. Do something clever and fun with that. But I think the best way to do it, once I get that, is to make sure you're sending it out to your groups and asking for it personally.
Well, like I
I
say,
can
if
do
you'll
that.
put that up on LinkedIn, it's very, very easy to repost that with that comment.
Yep, I will do that. No problem.
And I admit I have not done that up to now, but I will.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Thanks. I just started, so I will tell my son as well. I'm gonna push
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, get Jesse after it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got a few
definitely.
friends in the school as well, so ask them to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just started myself. You can verify this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
or do you get this right?
Let me go back
Just
over
a
there.
just a real quick check if you don't mind. To get
Yep,
back to
we have two more, so we're at 373.
okay.
Great.
We're cruising along at a light speed.
Yeah, definitely. I'll repost that. Sorry. So Tracy, you're
Yes.
saying that the CD Foundation may not be there? Am I hearing this right?
You are hearing it right. I just was on the phone with his name is Francois Deseroux, and he is the co-founder of CloudBees. He is now on the board of the CD Foundation. And I just had a 45-minute heart-to-heart with him on, where is it going? What are we doing? And begged him to consider chewing on the idea of really recreating the CD Foundation. And we chatted much about platform engineering, how we're missing the boat on that, that we have no projects around building AI into the CD pipeline. We've never had a DevOps MCP project. It was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And he agreed. He goes, it's funded this year. We don't know what CloudBees is going to do with it next year, if they're going to drop another $100,000 into this, if it's not doing anything. But it's not. I'm very sad to see that for this year, it's the same number of the same people are still participating, but no new primes have joined. There's not a single new gold member. We have Apple and we have CloudBees are the two big ones, and CloudBees isn't even that big anymore, right? We don't have who we need. On that note, all of you know that I've been worried about this and been chewing on it myself and trying to figure out how we pivot the CD Foundation. But without being on the board of the CD Foundation and pushing for them to even rename it. I don't care if we call it the new Platform Engineering Foundation or whatever we need to do to bring some life into it. We do have CDCon coming up. I got lucky to be potentially the last chair of CDCon if they're not around next year. That doesn't mean that the Linux Foundation may not still do CDCon. That's for sure. But I see the CD Foundation in pretty much 4 quadrants that what we should be focused on. Security, which we're all doing with Ortelius, AI, and platform engineering, which we need to do more of to understand how we can ourselves pivot and make sure that platform engineers are understanding the benefit of a tool like Ortelius. And the fourth quadrant is the projects themselves. So this year we were able to convince the board to limit the talks to those 4 categories: the projects, platform engineering, security, and AI. And those are the 4 focuses. That being said, if we're missing something, we should talk about it. But in terms of outreach around Ortelius, I think we are already hitting the security button. We need to do more in terms of outreach around what we're doing in our AI space, even if we're talking about the MCP server that we're trying to build, or the auto remediation that we're trying to do. And we really need to better understand the platform engineering's perspective on managing post-deployment vulnerabilities. So that's my challenge for us for this year, is to really understand and focus on those 2 additional areas of outreach. People looking for AI solutions to solve vulnerabilities, and understanding how platform engineers see and believe their responsibility in terms of security. Now, we have, Sasha, I always lean on you to be our platform engineer expert. But something I learned over the course of Christmas, especially talking to Eric Brewer, who runs the platform engineering team at Google, is that all of the builds now are being done by the production builds are done by the platform engineering team, which is a huge part of the CI/CD pipeline being moved over to platform engineering. That's big. It's really big for CI/CD to lose the build, right? I believe that builds are being done by the traditional DevOps pipeline in development, but not in production. So there is a shift that we need to embrace, and we may need to really change our messaging on our website to start talking to platform engineers. We need to listen to them first to hear what they're saying, and that's what I need feedback from this group to really understand what platform engineers are talking about. What are their buzzwords? What are they searching for? What do they need? What are their frustrations? I have that for DevOps. I don't have it for platform engineering. And I think it should be a goal for all of us to better understand that. So that is my kind of push for 2026 is we do the best we can for the CD Foundation. We position ourselves to move over to the OpenSSF should we need to. And we pivot to start really talking to platform engineers.
Quick question, Tracy, you mentioned about, and I reframed it in my head to be right of boom. So from a cybersecurity point of view, you're talking about vulnerabilities to the right of development, correct?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
say, can you put it in your words again? I'm sorry.
I call them post-deployment vulnerabilities.
Post-deployment. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Tracy, I have a question though. Is it platform engineer? It's the same people, but it's just been reorganized. In the past, probably 5 years ago, was within the DevOps we called it, but now they just reorganize those people. Now each this project they have their own platform engineers now.
Well, yes. But let me tell you, let me remind you something that happened after last June when we went to
Okay.
CDCon and we came back. I was on a TechStrong call, and we were talking about the platform engineering conference that they had, which happened at the same month as the CDCon. And Alan Schimmel, I said, "Hey, Alan, what was it like at PlatformCon or whatever it's called?" And he said, "Well, you know, Tracy, I have to be honest. I felt really old because there were so many young people there." And I responded to him, "Well, that's interesting because I went to CDCon and I felt very young," which is the problem. The people that we are talking to in DevOps are past their interest in doing new things.
Mm.
Where that's happening are in the teams that are doing platform engineering. Sasha is more like a platform engineering person, and Steve and I are more like DevOps people, two generations of IT specialists who are passionate about this space. Platform engineering is an evolution of DevOps.
Yeah.
So we have an old version of DevOps sitting out here with CI/CD pipelines, right, which are critical and we're still using. But platform engineering now is sitting on the other side of the wall and they're creating a different experience. One that is far faster. It's all about onboarding, you know, the new developer. But when you touch the onboarding experience for a new developer that comes into a company, you are in essence touching everything that they do, which includes how they develop code, how their experience is with everything that they do from the first time they hit, you know, they update a repository to when the code goes out the door. So we're seeing
well
a
said,
shift.
Tracy. Sorry, so well said.
Thank you.
You explained it so good.
So we're seeing a shift in how DevOps is being managed and perceived. Lots of the DevOps stuff is being done now, GitHub Actions. It's just a shift. We have to be part of that shift. We can't be left behind in the CD Foundation. We just can't. And that is, I mean, you know, both projects that I'm working on with the CD Foundation, Ortelius and the CI/CD Cybersecurity Guide, are prime for being moved over to the OpenSSF if that needs to happen. But for Ortelius in particular, it will need to have, we're going to have to solve two problems: the GitHub stars, and we're going to have to solve adoption. And I know that Steve is working hard on getting the adoption experience improved. And we'll work on that on the architecture side as well. But in terms of our messaging, in terms of how our website is faced, everything I believe should be focused on AI, security, and platform engineering. And we have to move away from any DevOps discussion.
So what does this
unfortunately.
mean this year? We should actually go to the platform engineering summit to talk to those audience or
I think what we should do this year should be the first 6 months this year, we should listen. We need to figure out where these people are. And I've said that before. And I know Sasha is completely tuned into this. So Sasha, we need your leadership on it. We need to learn how to listen to them. We need to understand what they're talking about and the struggles that they're having. In particular around security. And how worried are they about security? Who cares about post-deployment vulnerabilities today? DevOps teams do not. They don't see it as their, they're securing the pipeline pre-deployment. They're doing sneak.
I think platform engineering cares a lot because it's not, like I said, and that when I did the presentation, it's not like a gate. It's baked in from day one, you know? It's like an afterthought. It's not something you do later because it was too much of a mission to do it in the beginning. You do it, you build in the
such a
guardrails.
so if you bake it in and also as the platform engineer, so you would care about the vulnerability, right? Because it's your team's
Yeah, of
responsibility
course.
if your systems goes down, because your
Yeah.
team will have the budget to fix the defect to ensure the production quality, right?
Exactly. So they basically what you do as a platform engineering team, you are basically selling a product internally in the company. You must think of it as a product. It's literally a product launch, and you have to basically talk to all spheres of the business to get your product funded, right? So you become like a sales, marketing, and product team. It's not just about configuring a pipeline anymore. You have to be product orientated, product motivated, and you have to do all that stuff too. You know, you can talk to all the top level execs and management, all of that. Yeah.
So it will make it better though, right? Because previously you need to talk to the product, the dev team, or whoever the business owner owned the product. But now
Yeah,
it's the
HR.
platform engineering owned it. They have the budget. So those are the
Yes.
people we're talking to. So they can make a decision
Yes.
whether they want to make their vulnerability management easier. So it's make their life easier now.
Yeah. I'm just about to
But
write my
as
professional exam and I have to do all of that. I have to learn how to market and pitch. I basically have to learn how to pitch for money
yeah,
to build my
yeah.
product to serve my company internally with security and everything baked in, everything, you know, developer experience, the whole works. Yeah.
So I want you all to watch. I watched Sasha's presentation for Christmas twice after he did it. So
Did I
I've seen
make
it 3
sense?
times. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And the most important thing that you taught me in that how critical the vending machine is. We have to be like a vending machine. We have to make
Exactly.
it easy for the vending machine to add us to the process, right? But
Absolutely.
what we have to understand is where our entry point is. Where is our entry point in the platform engineer's product, the vending machine that they're building? Where is our entry point? Where do we fit, and how do we message that that's where we are going to go? That's where Ortelius needs to be. We don't have a clear understanding of that I had a complete understanding for that for DevOps through plugins, right? But nobody's updating plugins. Nobody wants to touch them. Nobody wants to do anything with it. They want to leave it alone and retire quietly. That is the truth.
Exactly.
So we
Exactly.
have to understand where our entry point is on the platform engineering side. And I don't believe that
You want
any
to,
of us really understand that.
you want to be on that machine like you select Coca-Cola or Sprite. You want to be Ortelius on that. Someone go, oh, I like this product. Boom, and just yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of the
That's
idea, right?
why the architecture team is going to have to get the adoption, the on-ramp so easy, right? I know that there's some struggles in it. There may be some struggles getting access to private repo. There's going to be struggles getting access to the Kubernetes logs, at least to get started with serving cloud native architecture. But that's what we have to start thinking about in order to position ourselves to continue being a rock solid open source community that's moving the needle to the right. right? We want to accelerate a bit, and we're struggling with doing that, and we just have to we have to have a come to Jesus moment to say, why are we struggling? And one of the reasons is because we are over here, we're pointing the wrong direction. We're still trying to serve DevOps communities, and they don't want us.
Well, I think what actually the underlying thing is, I think people are realizing that the whole shift left and have developers do everything just did not work money wise, and time wise. I think putting all that responsibility on developers, just ate into their project where they weren't getting real, real changes out and not dealing with all the and having every single team do it over and over and over instead of platform engineering where we're back to the more centralized world of give me a solution that I can onboard a developer into and off they go. And it costs me 10 minutes instead of a year's worth of work.
Exactly, Steve. 100%.
But Steve, that's very interesting point. That's what we've been always discussing at home. That was in the past because developer takes so much time for coding. But now with AI in the picture, so the coding part now actually is bring down. So which is now means we spare developer can do more stuff. So I'm just wondering how the industry going to shift with this whole AI. Every company now bringing AI to their developers' desktop, right?
Well, I think what they're going to want is um, new features faster from the business side. So, where you're going to be pushing out new features to your app or new features to your website um, in your 2 week sprint and
Exactly.
not have a 2 week sprint that then rolls into another 2 week sprint that rolls into a
Yeah,
6 month project that finally gets out the door.
exactly.
But isn't this going to make the gatekeeping, the last production gatekeeping more important? Because yes, you want more features, but you don't want to crash your system as well. So this is going to bring in all these extra things in terms of testing before you release. So everything need to make it more rigorous and more actual repetitive, right?
Yes, but if you have, and we always go through this, we go from centralized, decentralized, centralized, decentralized. It happens every about 5, 6 years. So now we're going back to the centralized world um, for the pipelines and stuff like that that are a little more tightly integrated with the production runtime. The firewalls, the IAM, load balancers, all that stuff is baked in.
So we're almost at the bottom of the hour here. What I would challenge us to do for our next call is let's start thinking about how we message to platform engineers. I think that's the first task that we can start. We don't have to jump fully into the AI space just right now. I think that pivoting the website, how do we talk about it? So my suggestion is we take it on this way. For those of you who want to play in this game, I would suggest that you play with AI in our existing website, start taking some of the content that we have and seeing how AI would change it to be focused around platform engineering. Do a little bit of your own edits on what's generated and share it in a shared Google Doc. I will start it. I will share the Google Doc to everyone and say, this is our 2026, we'll just call it our 2026 messaging doc. And let's start having a discussion in 2 weeks about how we can just start a conversation with platform engineers. And I think that we need to listen over the course of the next few months to what they're saying. And if that might be just watching some videos that are out there. There's a lot of platform engineers talking about what they're doing. They're excited. they're excited about what they're doing. DevOps engineers, I don't see anything new coming from them. They just are not doing anything new. They're just going, we did it. We got these great workflows that are running. I'm going to let it sit there and I'm going to retire in 3 or 4 years. I don't care.
Tracy, we can reach out to Sergio.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, and we can do some live stream in like LinkedIn, or like we can do some event in which we invite those platform engineers and we talk about what they are doing and the Ortelius.
So that's a really good point, Arvind. So maybe we should, as part of our goals, maybe, it's too hard to do it right this immediately, but we could say by the beginning of the second quarter, which takes us into, let's say, April 1st, that we like to start lining up platform engineers to do webinars for us or interviews, or we used to do a lot of podcasts because we had somebody who was interested in doing podcasts. We haven't seen him in a while. It would be great to get somebody else who wants to take over podcasting and do a podcast of platform engineers, right? We could just have them. That's one way to start a conversation. Yes, Sasha.
The person you need to speak to is in your guys' time zone. She lives in Canada, and she was my instructor, and she is an absolute genius in platform engineering. If we could get her on a talk, and I can ping her directly, it would be amazing. And this is her name.
You want to reach out to her?
Mallory Haig. She's my instructor. She is amazing, this lady.
I would reach out to her and talk to her about it. You know her.
Yeah.
Chat with her.
Yeah.
Tell her what we're up to.
Cool.
And see if she'd like to be a host for a podcast, a platform engineering podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be cool. I just posted a video that you did like 2 years ago. DevOps ain't dead, but we got to talk.
Exactly.
I just posted it now in the channel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's awesome. She's really awesome, and she's really funny. She's got a great sense of humor. She's really good at teaching and breaking down complexity into really easy to understand bits. One of the best instructors I've ever come across.
I will watch some of these, and let me stop that. I just went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. DevOps ain't dead, but we got to talk. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So let's just do this for the next 2 weeks. Everybody watch this video. So you understand, this is what I'm talking about. We have to listen to what they're saying. And please, Sasha, you know her, reach out to her, let her know that you're on this project, ask her to give you a star.
Yeah. Oh.
And see if if she's doing podcasts someplace. Just ask her, are you doing a regular podcast? Because maybe we ask her to do 3 this year with us.
That'll be amazing. She's so good. She's really.
Yeah. So we have somebody we can listen to. Mallory is obviously at she's at Humanitech. Yeah. They're pushing.
Exactly.
They're pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah.
I mean, Humanitech's a good website to take a look at.
Exactly. And platformengineering.org. Brilliant.
I'm going to put both of those in here. I'm going to put it I will put these in today's notes. So if you can't find it, it's going to be there. So before we have 3 minutes left, and I don't want to take much more of your time, but are there
Tracy,
any thoughts here?
Tracy, I did not start a new 2026 one, so the notes are still.
I did. All of it's.
I know.
have it.
I understand you probably did, but I have been updating the 2025 ones because
All right, I'll copy it over. No
we
worries.
had to cut and paste them over.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll take care of it. So is there any comments on what I just said? I know I hate to I don't mean to drop bombs at the beginning of the year, but we don't have a lot of time together, so I just have to be honest.
Well, I think it's good, Tracy.
I think it's called setting direction, Tracy.
Yeah,
is a good thing.
exactly. I like it. You're so good at that, Tracy.
Thank you. Well, we'll live without, we will continue on without the CDF. I can tell you that because we will find a new home within the Linux Foundation. I don't have a concern about that. I only bring the CDF conversation up because it may impact us if we have to move someplace. And let's make sure we're ready to do that. And that's why the stars are important. Stars and adoption. I'm going to work on CloudBees to see if I can get them to be our big corporate adopter. They may, I might be able to persuade them to do that. So we're going to have a follow-up meeting with them soon to really talk about Ortelius and potentially doing that. We need one big supporter, and CloudBees might be a good option. So I'll work on that if the rest of you work on listening to platform engineers and get your stars done.
So the funny thing is, real quick, I just looked at that platformengineering.org, their platform tooling like landscape, and it looks identical to a CI/CD landscape. They just renamed some of the bigger boxes. So it's just new terminology.
What is it? Platformengineering.org?
Yeah. And if you go to platform tooling,
Okay.
I can share my screen real quick.
I'm just going to put those in the notes too.
I got them already.
Okay.
So
yeah, we need to be in here. We need to update this to make sure we're in here, right?
So they still have CI, they have the CD, they still have version control. The only thing that they've really added on is what they're calling the resource plane, which is where things are going on the production side. So it's all the same thing, new name.
Yeah, so Steve, when you do your architecture call, could you review this and let's find out where we think we should be in here?
Yep. Probably be down in the security
Down there.
suites.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all. We have our marching orders, and I'll start that Google Doc, and we'll continue this conversation in 2 weeks.
Cheers,
Cool.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Happy